or like petals, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. This classic beauty, this elevated masterpiece. Welcome back, guys, to another video. In today's video, it was a requested one by, I think, only just one person, but I did think it was a really fantastic idea. I'm going to try to put it in the beginning of this video. I always forget to ask you guys if you can like and subscribe. I've noticed a lot of people like my videos, but they're not necessarily subscribed, and they will watch me. So I'm watching you guys. Please click that bell because it does really help. And I wanted to do a series which is just based around white florals in general, so whether that's jasmine, orange blossom, tuberose, etc. Because I feel as though the white floral olfactory kind of group, they tend to get a lot of love, and I think they're very popular for a good reason. White floral fragrances tends to smell really elegant, very feminine, almost a little bit indolic as well. So this is the first one that I will be doing, which is tuberose, and then probably followed by jasmine. I've already done orange blossom in the past, so I might not do that again. I might focus maybe on like another white floral like gardenia, for example. So I'm going to show you guys 5 specific tuberose fragrances that are very wearable, super elegant and feminine. All of these kind of have different nuances of tuberose. As you guys know, a lot of florals tend to have different facets, right? Tuberose has a very unusual hippie kind of vibe to me. To me, it smells either like banana, bubblegum, or just quite an indolic white floral type of note. It's not like laundry detergent as such, but kind of goes into that musky, bright type of realm. I have included some fragrances in here that maybe some of you have not heard of. I would have loved to include more classics like Carnal Flower, etc. But honestly, I feel as though most of you will know those fragrances anyway. So these are my top 5, in my opinion, the best tuberose fragrances. So we'll just, oh, actually, before we jump in, I realized that technically there's 4 different varieties of tuberose. So there's single, semi-double, double, and I can't remember the last one. But essentially, they're different variants of the tuberose flower. The single one tends to have the most, or like petals, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. The more flowering of the bunch, and the more petals, the more flowers you have, the better it is for extraction. So I think typically they will use the single one as opposed to the others. But anyway, I just thought I would explain that. But let's just jump straight into it. By the way, guys, it's very humid in the UK at the minute, so I'm just wearing this linen shirt, but honestly, I'll probably sweat through it. It's really that warm, and plus the light on either side. Oh my days, I'm just firing up here. But the first fragrance that we have, unfortunately, oh my days, I was so annoyed by this. The sample that I was given by Pulse Perfumery, it broke, but then it leaked all over these like these cards, so it really smells like this specific fragrance, which isn't bad, and I will be buying it fairly soon. I have quite a long list of, I don't know if you guys are the same, but you know when your wish list just keeps continuing. I am really questioning which fragrances come more priority, which ones I buy first. But anyway, that's just a first world problem. So the first fragrance that we're going to be talking about is called Donna Margarita, and it is from the brand called Pantheon Roma. Pantheon Roma are probably most well known for their like gourmand type of fragrances. They have a chocolate one, which I think is called Dolce Passion, and I've tried that one. It's absolutely gorgeous. They also have some other more gourmand fragrances, and they are absolutely incredible. Some really beautiful quality. It is a white floral based fragrance, but it's quite heavy on the tuberose and the jasmine, specifically the tuberose. It smells like a very indolic banana type of tuberose. It doesn't really go into the bubblegum the bubblegum realm, which I don't really mind. Sometimes, you know, it's nice having that bubblegummy type of scent, and sometimes it's not so much. But this to me smells like banana peel, sweet, indolic, tropical smelling more than anything else, and it's very creamy. that is the overall sense that I'm getting from this fragrance. So wearable. Not that I ever recommend for people to blind buy. You know me, guys, I always recommend to sample, but this is blind buy worthy. Like, I feel as though most women, if they were to buy this fragrance, would be over the moon. They wouldn't even regret it whatsoever. And it's such an easy wearable fragrance. To me, it smells very romantic, and from what I was told when I did visit Pulse Perfumery, I believe this specific fragrance was dedicated to the wife of the brand, of the owner of the brand, which is a really beautiful touch. And I do think it smells very feminine, specifically because it has that tropical feel, but without it being too coconutty in any type of way, with that banana-like tuberose, but also being very sweet, delicate, angelic. It is gorgeous. This is a 10 out of 10 fragrance, and the longevity and projection is out of this world, considering it is a white floral based fragrance. So if you guys have not tried Donna Margarita, I would recommend that you give it a go. Right, so the next fragrance that I have is from Amouage. You guys know that I've been talking about this fragrance for a very long time, to the point where the emblem has literally just come off from the amount of times that I've worn it. I was kind of tempted to talk about Honor 43, which is like the extract version of Honor. And I think that fragrance is absolutely stunning. The issue is it is a little bit more on the expensive side. So if I am able to get it at some point, it is quite high on my wish list, and I will. And I will do maybe like a separate video for that specific fragrance. But Portayal, to me, is a very true bubblegum tuberose fragrance. It is bubblegum on crack. I mean, if you could literally have a specific fragrance dedicated to bubblegum and sweetness, it would be this fragrance. So be warned, guys, if you don't like overly sweet fragrances, you might not enjoy this. But it's sweet done in a very elegant way. Sometimes, you know, when fragrances are overly gourmand or overly sweetened by vanillin and things like this, it can smell very tacky, in my opinion. But with this one, because it's so heavy on that banana, bubblegum, gorgeous tuberose note, mixed with a little bit of jasmine and tobacco, it kind of has this musky, enveloping element to it. And this, in the sunshine, during when it's like hot and summery, it really just blossoms on your skin. It is one of the best tuberose fragrances you can buy on the market, and it really is a fantastic creation from Amouage. Very unique. Amouage is just known to be making very unique fragrances, and I have to give it to them. This specific one has always blown me away, and if you guys have not tried it, please give it a go. So that's Portayal from Amouage. Now, the next fragrance actually might shock you guys because I've never ever talked about it, and typically when people do talk about tuberose, they talk about the grown sister of this fragrance, and the fragrance that we're talking about is Petite Fra. This is from Robert Piguet. Fracas, the original, has been around for a very long time, and it's known to be not just a cult favorite in fragrances in general, but the tuberose fragrance. And technically, I mean, I really enjoy it. I think it's not too overwhelming or too vintage, but I do know a lot of people find it to be sometimes a little bit too indolic or not wearable, because it almost has like this green type of facet to it, a little bit like Carnal Flower, I guess, from Frederic Malle. This one is the younger, fun sister of Fracas. This is Petite Fra, and I think both are enjoyable fragrances. This to me is more wearable, and that's why I thought I would include it, because I don't think anyone ever talks about this fragrance. I am tempted to buy a full bottle of this one, but I'm a little bit umming and ahhing, and I will explain a little bit why I'm on the fence about it, specifically because of my boyfriend. But anyway, we'll talk about that. This specific fragrance is a very heavy, zesty tuberose. It has a greenness to it, but not overwhelmingly grassy green. Sometimes I find green fragrances quite hard to wear. It really depends what type of greenness it has, but to me this is almost like a bit of an unripe banana, if you know what I mean. So when the skin is a little bit more greeny, not quite yellowy and spotty, that's the type of greenness that you get in here. A little bit sharper in the zestiness. I don't know whether it actually has citruses in the top, but to me this is leaning a little bit more zesty. Oof, that is gorgeous. That is so beautiful. Very invigorating. Almost smells like G&T in the top with like a banana on the side. I know that sounds a little bit strange, but if you had banana cut up in gin and tonic, that's kind of what I'm getting in the beginning of this fragrance. This is far sweeter and more delicate than the original like vintage version of this Fracas, the original Fracas, and I think that's why it's more wearable in my opinion. It has a really beautiful banana sweetness to it, indolic and creamy. That's why I feel like it's much more wearable. And then even on your skin, it does start to sweeten up and becomes a little bit more bubblegummy, but not to the point like Portayal where you can smell just straight up bubblegum. But this has that bubblegum sweetness, but without it smelling sweet, like, if you know what I mean. Overall, you have like the zesty, citrusy top, as I said, like smells like gin and tonic, mixed with this unripe banana, and then ends with this creamy sweetness. So to me, it's absolutely gorgeous. Slightly vintage smelling, but not overwhelming in any type of way. The only issue was, and this isn't an issue because I will always buy fragrances based on what I love, but my boyfriend, he wasn't too keen on this fragrance. He thought it smelled a bit too vintage on my skin, which is fair enough. I think he just thought it, you know, it smelled a bit too mature. But honestly, I mean, I love it so much that I'm just tempted to buy it anyway, and I just won't, you know, douse myself in it every time that he's around, just not to offend him. But either way, I just think it's a really beautiful fragrance. As I said, maybe a little bit more wearable than the original older sister. So if you guys have not tried Petite Fra, give it a go. Now, how could we do a Tuberose fragrance video without including this stunner, this classic beauty, this elevated masterpiece that is Rouge Malachite? Oh my good lord. I mean, this is, I think, my second bottle and I absolutely love it. This has to be my ride or die. If I could keep wearing this for the rest of my life, I will, because I absolutely adore it. To me, this is a very true tuberose. It does have some other white florals in here, but it is an indolic tuberose. To me, this smells incredibly elegant, creamy, but also with that indolic vibe, you know, that sexiness, that muskiness from underneath. Why am I doing this hand gesture? I don't really know. I think I explained this before, but it has like this woodiness and this creamy stickiness that is similar to Alien, but not quite as potent as Alien. To me, this is a little bit more herbaceous, like the older elegant sister of Alien, just with, you know, tuberose instead of jasmine, and really it is a stunning fragrance. I think what I love about it so much is you have this creamy indolic silk-like tuberose note, which is very prominent, but then also you pair that with sage, which I love sage fragrances. I think sometimes having the contrast of green herbaceous saltiness mixed with like creamy sweet like floral type of fragrances really makes a fantastic combination, and it's all anchored by this ambery woody type of essence towards the bottom. Really, my camera just died, so we'll scoot back over here. What was I saying? Something about it having, oh yeah, so with it having that ambery woody kind of base, it really is a masterpiece from Armani. Armani Prive have one of the best like exclusive luxurious fragrances out there in terms of designer brands, and they are elevated. They smell super elegant. I can't even count the amount of times I've been complimented on this, and it changes a lot. So this to me is not a linear fragrance whatsoever. When you first spray it, it has like this herbaceous greenness, but that's gone away within maybe about 5 minutes. The magic happens on your skin. That's when it goes creamy, sexy, a little bit musky and sweet all at the same time. It really is a stunning fragrance. So if you guys have never tried Rouge Malachite, then please give it a go. Right, so the very last fragrance, and certainly not last because I do feel like this deserves the spotlight. This to me is a very true tuberose fragrance. It's from Matia Premiere, and this one is called French Flower. Now, I think this is a very true representation of tuberose in of itself. The extraction process, from what I was told when I was shopping at Pulse Perfumery, is very old school, in the sense that when they do pick the tuberose flowers, they will like do it in layers of I think like this waxy component which just leaches the oils and the goodness out of the flower itself, and it's a very long-winded process, right? So when you go through that type of extraction process, you are guaranteed that you're going to get a very true representation of the flower itself. To me, this is indolic, banana, and bubblegum all at the same time. It has all of those facets, but slightly more on the bushy, floral type of side. I don't think it's as tropical or as bubblegummy as the other fragrances maybe that I've just shown. So I'm just going to spray a little bit here just to remind myself. Wow, and that opening, it's like a green unripe banana, but mixed with this very creamy white floralness, like almost like a detergent similar to gardenia. So realistic, in fact. It feels like you're just like walking through a field of tuberose bushes. That's how gorgeous this fragrance is. Very wearable, not overly sweet. I wouldn't actually class this as a sweet fragrance at all. It does have a natural sweetness from the flower itself, and then it just ends with a very clean musk to me. I don't know whether that's actually in the base notes, maybe a sandalwood, something soft, powdery, and not overwhelming. And I think that is what complements the creaminess of this fragrance really, really well. As I said, you definitely still get that like green banana type of touch with it being indolic and creamy all at the same time. This is a very feminine fragrance, super wearable. You can wear it any season, day or night. I feel like a lot of people would get compliments from this fragrance, and I feel as though this is one of the best Matia Premiere fragrances that they have within the brand. Really highlights the note of tuberose super duper well. So yeah, that is French Flower from Matia Premiere. So guys, that is it for today's video. I really hope that you enjoyed. As I said, I will be doing more in this series, so probably a jasmine video coming up next. In the next video, I'm probably going to do how to save money when shopping for fragrances, so I'm actually really looking forward to that video. I'm going to shoot it all at the same time whilst I'm doing this, just so I can get more content out for you guys. I wasn't lying when I said that I will be doing YouTube more seriously, and yeah, I did give you guys that promise, didn't I? So I need to fulfill it. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. Please like and subscribe. Actually, I'm going to try to put it in the beginning of this video. I always forget to ask you guys if you can like and subscribe. I've noticed a lot of people like my videos, but they're not necessarily subscribed, and they will watch me. So I'm watching you guys. Please click that bell because it does really help, especially when you are doing YouTube videos. You know, it is a little bit of a long-winded process. So if you can help me, guys, I will help you guys, vice versa. Anyway, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.